Yes, people, welcome again to another episode of Kicking It Back with the one, the only Yaya Chino Falaci, coming to you live from Gold Coast, Australia today, where controversy meets reason. Yes, people, this is the page where controversy meets reason, where all comments, all thoughts, everything here is met with reason. Yes, also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page, and also add me on all social media, including Instagram, TikTok, and also like and share and subscribe to the page so I can continue bringing you great content going forward. Let's jump into this right away. Yes, so as you can see, had a big weekend. Gunners train keep rolling. Manchester United having a little dip again in the Premier League. We have Chelsea picking cherries, picking up small results. Here we have VAR having another great performance week. Yes, it's all happening here. We're also going to look at the bottom of the table and what's going on down there and how 8 teams are actually in the fight for relegation. It's all happening today. I'm kicking it back with Yaya. Let's jump into it right away. Here we have the Premier League table, just showing you how it looks at the moment. We have Arsenal, who's doing big things. Arsenal is actually, in my opinion, title favourites at the moment. If you look at the statistics in terms of goals scored, conceded, if you look at how they're having such a great run of form at the moment, they're winning games, coming back in games, winning it at the end of games. They they just have that championship feel. Now, do I think they're gonna win it? Honestly, like it hurts me to say, but Arsenal is actually title favorites at the moment. They are a few points ahead of Man City. They aren't losing games. Yes, they have a few big games coming up, which can be the major determinant of the league. But also, Man City isn't steamrolling teams like they used to. So it gives Arsenal a great opportunity to win the league. Now, Arsenal needs to prioritize the Premier League at this moment. There's 11 games to go. You see them already showing a bit of fatigue in terms of when they rotate this squad is not as good as when they play in the Europa League. So you see them having a little bit of struggle even in that game against Sporting just based on a certain amount of rotations. Yes, they've rotated this squad a lot, and yes, they have played well with key players out of their team. But it's different when you're playing in a cup competition, especially at that stage of the cup competition. And also, it it shows that on a one-off game, any team can win. Any team can pick up a a result. But when it's a league and you have to go week in, week out to get results based on not only what other team results are, based on also injured players, it's just a bit more and it's a different tactical and a different managerial way in terms of when you're trying to win a league. Now, you're 11 games away from winning a Premier League title, or you're 6 games away from winning at the moment, you're 4 games away of winning a European competition. But it's not the Champions League, it's the Europa League. And don't get me wrong, it's still a European championship, but they already guaranteed Champions League football next season. What do you rather do? Do you rather win the Premier League or you rather win the Europa League? Now, even Stevie Wonder that can't see what's going on the TV, he have heard about these competitions and I'm sure his answer would be the Premier League. Now, Arsenal also, when you look at the table here again, when you look at the table that we just showed previously, Arsenal has won their last 5 games. They're keeping clean sheets. They're scoring lots of goals. And they're doing well. Like, you can't even hate on Arsenal. Like, they actually, Mikel Arteta has this gunner train, well oiled, and this machine is moving. Trust me. There's no longer, this is a blip. They've been on top of the league for weeks. Like, this team is the real deal. When you look at players like Martin Odegaard, who I'm always gonna say, people forgot this guy was bought by Real Madrid at the age of 15 years old. You do not sign, and he was in their first team squad. Yes, they sent him on loan and stuff like that. But you see many times Real Madrid buy young players and they put them in the academy. Martin Odegaard was in their first team squad. So yes, he wasn't playing. Yes, he was sent out on loan a few times. Yes, he wasn't doing great at Real Madrid, but he was bought by Real Madrid. That club does not buy players for the sake of buying players. They buy the prim and proper, the best of the best, the elite of the elites. You understand? Like, Cristiano Ronaldo was on the best form of his life at Manchester United, and he went to Real Madrid. You know what I mean? Because there's no other, he couldn't do better in that stage. They were with Ferguson was winning everything. They just won the Champions League, and Cristiano Ronaldo dipped. So this team has won the Champions League so many times in the last couple of years. You've seen them even with not the best squad in terms of, if you say, quality. When they go and play in these European nights, Real Madrid is a different breed of team. So let's not sleep on Martin Odegaard. When this kid touches the ball, it's just magic. Like, I enjoy watching Martin Odegaard play football. This guy he's just brilliant, man. Like, he's just technically sound, so always aware of his surroundings, real good in tight areas. Like, this guy is going to be one of the best players in the world if he continues at that level. And at this moment, he is actually one of the best players in the world in terms of in his position. You know, we always hear about Kevin De Bruyne. We always hear about Bruno Fernandes. And people don't really give Bruno Fernandes as much credit. But when you look, we look at other players and we look at statistics and we look at all these things. People want to then look at how Bruno plays and make a analysis. Now, if you are the only risk taker in your team, of course your numbers are going to look that you take a lot more risk than more players. Obviously, you're the only one doing it. It's going to also look as if you're wasteful. But in order for you to find that rhythm, you have to make mistakes. And he does make mistakes, yes. But his numbers as a midfielder, if you look at the statistics, we will also be doing a video about that soon, about the best midfielders in the world at the moment. It's brilliant. You understand? And Martin Odegaard right now is in that elite level. He's up there with the De Bruyne's, he's up there with the Bruno Fernandes and them of the league. Also, Arsenal has hit such a great signing again. Probably the best winter signing this winter, this season, is Trossard. Now, let's not forget that Trossard was smashing it at Brighton. He was already scoring against all the big teams at Brighton this season. So him coming in now, a Premier League winning, what would I say? It's the mentality in Arsenal in terms of, yes, Arsenal hasn't won the league in a long time, but they have foundations set now where they can go and challenge and probably win this league. So the environment at Arsenal is not, they're happy to be in the top four this season then. They're fighting for the championship. In which at Brighton, they're fighting for European spot. So they don't care if they play Conference League, they don't care if they care Europa League, they don't care if they play Champions League. Of course, everyone wants to play Champions League, but you know what I mean. And the guys actually now went into a championship dressing room where they're fighting for the title. Some people might say it's the best league in the world. So that already flips your mentality where you're thinking, man, like, I'm already smashing it at Brighton. I'm at Arsenal now. It's time to even turn up even more. And he has to compete for his spot. And he and Martinelli is playing this interchangeable false nine-ish role. And it's just, man, it is actually brilliant to see how tactically astute Mikel Arteta is. He has forced Arsenal to play in a certain way that not only benefits his way of coaching, but also benefits the players that he has. Because when Nketiah plays, Nketiah doesn't come to the ball as much. But then you see Arsenal now press a bit higher up the pitch and play balls into small pockets where Nketiah is a lot more damaging because he's a poacher. When you see Trossard and Gabriel Jesus and even Martinelli play up top, you see they have this way of playing where it's not the same with Nketiah. You see them now play the ball into the striker feet and have a lot more runners running in off the striker. That's why you see in lots of games where you see Jesus has played, you see now with Trossard and Martinelli playing, that's the games you see Odegaard scoring a lot more goals because he's making lots of runs in behind. So it's just brilliant to watch Arsenal. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Arsenal is actually, and it's lovely to see a set of young players with a young coach do great things. Now, Eric Ten Hag made his name for doing the same thing when he had that golden generation with Ajax and they had a great run in the Champions League with Van de Beek, with De Jong, with De Ligt, with Hakim Ziyech, Tadic. Yeah, Tadic wasn't young then, but he was that senior player in that team as well as Daley Blind. It was just a great young generation. David Neres, you know, like these young players were turning it up at Ajax that season. And as you see, most of them went to big clubs. I'm actually quite shocked that Neres ended up at, I think, Benfica. He was rumored to go to Shakhtar. But it's lovely to watch, man. Like, I'm actually really proud of Arsenal. You know, I give Arsenal a lot of shit, but Arsenal, bro, Arteta, kudos to you. Now, let's look also about Graham Potter. How Chelsea is now starting to pick up result after result after result. And that just only builds good team spirit, but they're also fighting for these results, which also builds great momentum. And they're picking up momentum in the time of the season where it's about finding a way to win. No longer it's about style of play. No, this is about the time of the season is 11 games to go. You're in the Champions League. What you have to do right now is just try to pick up points, try to win games, try to find ways to win. Now, same you see when you look at Tottenham, you look at Newcastle, even Man United been doing that for a while now. These teams are now picking up, trying to find ways just to win. At the end of the day, that's what football is about now. You know, the media goes on about style of play, attractive football. Yes, it's entertaining, but at the end of the day, it's about who want it more, who play the hardest on the day, who recover the ball the quickest, and who keep the ball out their goal the most, and who put the ball in the back of the opposition net. Nobody care about who have the most dribbles, who have the most. Those statistics are for personal reasons and for accolades for the media to have things to talk about. And of course, when the coach breaks it down and to better your game and to implement certain things to your game, these things matter. But at the end of the day, it's a dogfight against 11 versus 11, 22 players on that day. And that's all it's about. Who wants it more? Now, let's talk about United and the fatigue that you can. I don't think United is fatigued. I think they are quite a fit squad, but you can tell that a bit of not the lack of rotation, because I think he's rotated his squad a lot. But I think the thing is with United, because of how many games they're playing in accumulation to other teams. And especially now you see lots of these teams, because they're out of other competitions, and United are still in, I would say, most competitions, if not all the competitions available. You can tell and you can see that it's wearing a toll on them. You can also see that happening to Man City, who is the other team in England right now, who is competing for all competitions. You understand? So it shows that the build-up of this fatigue towards these teams. Man City ain't steamrolling teams right now. They're just trying to find a way to win. They're just trying to just get through these games, pick the games that they need to go with a high intensity. Some games they try to manage it a bit more, slow it down, play at their pace. But right now, you can tell that you can start to see that fatigue build up. Now, United plays Real Betis in the week. They have a 3-0 aggregate score, which they won 4-1, for those people who want to be direct. And I think he will rotate lots of players just to give players like Varane a rest, who for the first time in a few seasons, which I'm proud of him, is actually playing lots of games in accumulation, not getting injured. You need to get game time into Anthony Martial to give Weghorst a bit of a rest. You also need to give Rashford a bit of a rest. But then Garnacho left on crutches, which, excuse me, sorry. We all know that it's such a bad tackle from Walker Peters, but the referee is always blind to United. But we will have that discussion in a bit. Then you look, Anthony, he needs to keep playing. I think he was injured, so he needs to just keep getting game time. David De Gea maybe can take a rest, but he's pulling out great saves. He's actually saved United points this weekend. When you see that one-on-one with Theo Walcott, he saved. The header from Theo Walcott, he saved. And that's another thing about Theo Walcott. That is one of the main reasons Theo Walcott never went to that another level, because of his end product. Quick, really well to beat a man, linked up play so well, but this kid would get 5 one-on-ones, just like Raheem Sterling in his younger career, and the guy would not score any. So we have to look at that and realize that Theo Walcott, you did not hit the levels in which we all thought you could have. But back to Man United. Now, Man United now received a yellow card, a red card in the game via VAR, from VAR decision, which they sent Anthony Taylor to the monitor after he made an on-field decision. And they said for him to look at the incident again, right? Now, VAR has been making absolute blunders all season. Okay? Now, I see United fans saying there's an agenda and there's certain thing, there's an agenda against Man United. And I can see why they're saying that. Okay? I can see there have been many decisions that have gone against United. But if they're saying that it's VAR is the reason why these decisions aren't going to United, that is where I don't agree. Because VAR has been absolutely dog shite, as the English would say. Dog shite, mate. They have been absolute dog shite all season. When you look at the decision with Casemiro red card, do I believe that's a red card? If there is mere fact that VAR was put into football for clear and obvious errors. Now, the mere fact that we can have a discussion about that tackle, it shows that it was not a clear and obvious error. And also, the inconsistencies based on these calls have been bad. Now, I do believe there's a target on Casemiro. I actually do. When you look at that red card he received against Crystal Palace, when at certain angles you see it looks like he's holding the guy's neck, but at other angles from back then you see him holding just the guy's shirt. But then in that same image that VAR saw of him, when they claim he was holding the neck, adjacent to that situation or parallel to the human eye, you could have seen Jordan Ayew with his hands on Fred's neck doing the same thing. So, how are you sending the referee to the monitor to just look at one situation when there's so much going on in that same situation, and you're saying that, and you're ignoring that situation? So that means you're targeting that one individual. You understand? Like, if I'm looking at a picture right now, right, and somebody tells me, hey, zoom in on this area, that means that is the area we are targeting. But they're not looking at the other areas on that same picture that probably have the same thing going on. That is a target. Now, his tackle was a bit rash, but he won some of the ball. So that is why he gave him that yellow card, because he knows he won some of the ball. If he didn't think he won any of the ball, he would have driven him off right away. Let's be real, people. Let's be real. Let's not be prejudiced. Let's be real. If the referee thought that Casemiro just went in nastily for how strong he went in on that tackle, right? You don't have to go in with malice for it to be a strong tackle. You can actually have a strong tackle and it not be malicious. And the referee saw, and the referee did not think that he was malicious. He just thought he went in hard, so he gave him the yellow card. Else he would have given him the red card if he thought it was malicious. But VAR intervened in the game, send him to the monitor, and then tell him he should give him a red card. That is exactly what happened. You know, they didn't even run the play from when you were looking at the monitor when the game was being filmed, right? When you're watching, the cameraman zoomed in on the referee at the monitor. The referee played the challenge one time and he did not play the whole challenge, and they did not slow down on the moments where he won the ball to the point where he hit the man on the foot. Think about it, people. We are seeing video assisted referee robots controlling this football game. Look at the decision just less than 24 hours ago. Sadio Mane, when the first year VAR was introduced to football, at the starting of the English Premier League season, was given a red card when he and Ederson went up. Sadio Mane's foot, Ederson flew out of his box at Mane, and Mane's foot was high, and he touched Ederson, the ball, then he touched Ederson, and I think it was either like Ederson's rib area or Ederson's like hand area or whatever, but his foot was so-called high, right? And VAR quickly gave him a red card. The same thing happened in the Chelsea game. The same thing against Kai Havertz. The same thing happened now when a player was late to the ball, caught a player on his ankle, Ricardo Pereira against João Felix. Let me pull up the image here for you guys so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Look at these challenges. The first image on the top of the screen, as y'all can see with the Casemiro image here, you can see that he won the ball, rolled over it, then went into the player. You can see that his back foot is pulled away from the player, so he's not trying to go in with a 2 foot, which means he's not going in there malicious to damage that player. He wins the ball and his foot rolls over, and that is what the referee saw. And the referee was right next to the incident, hence he made that call. Now look at the other incident with João Felix. Look at the incident. We can see the images here. One player foot on the ball gets a red. The other one doesn't even touch the ball. And he plays the whole game. He plays the whole game. He doesn't get yellow. They would just awarded a foul. And I think actually VAR called him to give that foul because that call was a delayed call by the referee. And when the game was playing, it wasn't like there was a transitional moment where Chelsea was picking up the ball, so he was playing on the advantage. Nor did he put his hand up where he signaled so he could show that he was playing on the advantage. So we all know VAR gave him a shout to tell him that's a foul. So why are they not now intervening in these situations when it comes to these teams? But as soon as it comes to a certain club, everything is intervened. United has been at the back end of poor decisions all season. I do agree that. And that is why I can see why their fans have an agenda. Saying there's an agenda. When you look, the ball was outside against West Ham. The whole ball was outside. There's so many images to show that the whole ball was outside. And yet still, they don't give the team their call. Even all the players on West Ham stopped. It wasn't only United players stopped. Even West Ham players stopped. Only 2 players didn't stop, and that was the one that passed the ball and the one that scored the goal. Come on, people. And then y'all like to bring up the talk about, oh, but when Ferguson, bro, when there wasn't cell phones, we didn't communicate with each other this well either. When there wasn't Instagram and social media, we couldn't pull up images like these either. So let us not talk about when this. When last did Arsenal win the Premier League? When last did Tottenham win a trophy? When last did United win a Premier League or a major trophy? Yeah, they won the Carabao Cup. But it's just, let's not talk about what happened. Let's talk about what's going on right now. We are watching the referee mob have more control of football games. They have all this equipment, all these ways of communicating, yet they are making more and more terrible decisions. And then the weeks after, you see them making make-up calls. Look at the hit on Marcus Rashford for the goalkeeper. VAR doesn't intervene that. Look at the late hit from Walker Peters. VAR doesn't intervene that. Even the hit on Bruno Fernandes in the first half, VAR doesn't intervene that, where he hits foot then gets ball. The goalkeeper misses the ball and hits Rashford ankle. But VAR doesn't intervene. And then they try to use the excuse that that is not a clear and obvious error? What do you mean that's not a clear and obvious error? When there is actual errors to show that because the players are moving too fast for the referee, that he can't make that call. When you look at Arsenal against Brentford, how can you not make an offside call? And they knew, and there's so much corruption in football. They knew that, hey, look, I'm sorry I'm going on a rant, but they're messing up football. They knew that that was an offside against Brentford. Don't tell me about camera angle. They knew that was offside. And yet they failed to make the call. And the reason why is because it's for the Premier League's sake that they need to have title challengers till the end of the season in order for them to have the people to keep watching the games, the viewings that they have. Because if they keep a title race till the last day, they keep viewers watching the league till the last day. They need to stop this corruption. You see many seasons, you see Liverpool. You see Liverpool get last season, Rodri hand the ball versus Everton in the box. No foul. No foul. But then Martinez turned his back. Then they takes a shot against Real Sociedad. The ball hits Martinez's knee, then hits his hand. They give away a penalty. This season, they give away a penalty on Gabriel for a handball with his hands on his side. Come on, man. Come on, referee mob. I have lots of friends that are referees. Lots. Refereeing in some of the big games, in big tournaments. But I'm telling you right now, guys, y'all need to call a worldwide meeting amongst yourselves and sort this out. Roach out this corruption. These men have too much control where they are messing games up, man. They're actually messing games up. It's actually hurtful to be sitting down and watch a football game and have to see that these guys are absolutely messing games up. They're robbing teams of points. They're robbing players of having games, playing games. They're messing with teams' rotation. And fans want to see the best players on the pitch all the time. Fans want to see the best decisions made not only towards their teams, but towards other teams. Because what people fail to realize is when a bad decision goes bad for one team this week, it can happen to your team next week and the week after. Let us unite as fans and players, and we need to deal with this VAR issue. It's been too many years now VAR has been in existence, yet we're getting worse and worse and worse and worse decisions. Come on, referees. We have to stop it. We have to start making the right decisions. Anthony Taylor, you have an agenda against teams, a few teams in the EPL, and it shows. A few of the referees in the EPL have agendas against certain teams. And when certain coaches make certain claims, referees react. When Klopp made that claim that United get too many penalties, they've only been awarded 5 penalties in the last couple of seasons. Hey, look, let me tell y'all something, right? These referees are messing up football, and the coaches know this. They play on it, but also when the decisions goes against the coaches, that's when you see them get very upset. But we have to fix this issue. Football is losing its essence. It's moved from a fully contact sport to now, I don't even know what it is. It's like semi-contact to non-contact. When it suits them. Let us stop this corruption. Let us stop messing with football. And let us please get the game back to where it was. We're seeing more players injured now than they were a couple years ago. Look at it. And it's not only muscle issues, it's from bad tackles, and these referees aren't defending the players because they're so dependent on VAR. They're losing controls of games from VAR. I'm sorry I've gone on a rant about VAR for so long, but this has been a great show. Thank you for tuning in. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Continue to just keep sending me direct messages so I can keep putting out these videos. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers quickly. And have a great day, have a great morning, have a great night wherever you're watching this. This has been your boy Yaya Chino Falaci, bringing you yet another Premier League review and Varant. We will be bringing out a video also on VAR. Also, we will be bringing out some other videos on the best coaches in the EPL at the moment, the best strikers, the best 11 at the moment based on statistics, based on performance, based on where their teams are. We're going to bring you out some comparison videos on players and who's the better winger, striker, midfielder, defender. We'll name it all. We're going to be bringing you some great content going forward. So keep out looking for this page popping up on your YouTube. Keep tuning in. Keep looking at my social media page to get updates on the great videos we're going to have bringing you forward. Have a great day. Take care. Ciao.